All right, guys, this is the official how to set a rally tutorial video. As you can see here, my wall is full, my traps are full. I have full wall research, so I have full wall. Step one, to setting a rally on a target, want to check their gear. If you see an orange arrow, this is my castle might not win. If you see a white arrow, this is Aries Hippie's castle, which I'm using both accounts. I'm just swapping between applications on my computer. So step one, check the gear. Why is this important? If a person is baiting you or online, you always want to check what gear they are in before you set the rally. Have a mental note. Okay, this person's in war gear, speed gear, hunter gear, whatever. That way you can know if they switch or not. Step one. Step two, make sure they don't have these two armor pieces on their player at the time. This Frostwing shield and these Frostwing boots. If you send a wall march on a castle that has max research or max wall and they have these two things on, it will not one hit and that person is 110% baiting a rally. Never do that. You cannot break a wall in one hit with this set. It might take one, it might take two, it might take three, depending on if they have the jewels inside of these two pieces that boost wall defense. So always remember, they're in wall defense, they have wall gear on, don't set on that target. Step two, after that, sending the wall break march. I already have these presets set on these castles. I will make a PDF guide of this in writing with the pictures of these battalions and presets, so you guys have them. I won't spend too much time on the numbers. Basically, these are the buffers that will allow the siege to live, break the wall. These are the 5 familiars you need. This one, Hearty Feast, to increase the HP of the buffers and the siege. This is to Griffin is to, or Tailwind, to increase the attack and stackers of all four of these types, and then 3 stackers for each buffer type: infantry, range, and cav. Plus these 5 heroes. You need these siege heroes on the wall. Hippie doesn't have dark followers, so I use the army HP hero and another army HP hero or army attack hero, which is fine. But you want to have 4 siege heroes and an army attack hero. But this is still more than fine because these are pay to play, or this is a pay to play. So here goes the wall march. It will one tap the wall. We will go to my castle here. As you can see, we got hit. Wall is completely shattered. Right? You cannot test a front without breaking the wall. I repeat, you cannot test a front without breaking the wall. Now, we will go to the front test. These are already preset on Hippie's account, as on mine, as I set up both of these accounts. So there is a cav pretest and there is a range pretest. 69 of each, 2,000 of the cav for a buffer. There's one for range as well, 69 of each other, 2,000 of range for the buffer. Now, if you don't know, I'm just going to say it here so nothing is left out. Cav counters inf, inf counters range, range counters cav. We know this already. So if you hit with a cav test on an infantry wall, it would do good damage. If you hit with a cav test on a cavalry wall front, it would do medium damage. If you send cav into a ranged front, it will do little to no damage at all. Maybe a 4 might difference. Sometimes it will be 0, depending on what gear the person is in, how much troops they have, how much HP they have. There's no way to really tell. right? So here we're going to start off with a cav test and inf wedge. As you can see, I have it preset here. I will have it in the PDF. So this is the preset, cav and inf wedge, range and cav wedge. If you do not send them in this formation, it will not test properly. So now we are going to test the front. I'm going to send a cav and inf wedge. I'm going to double check that I'm in inf wedge before I send this. You want to do all of this in speed gear so you can do it as quick as possible. When testing, you want to pay attention to these three last digits, 516. These are the telltale signs of the counter. Like I said, if you completely counter the front, it would be a large drop. If you don't counter and you get countered, for example, you send cav into range, there will be little to no drop. And if you send cav into cav, it will be a medium-sized drop. So now we're going to test this front with a cav march. You want to bring up the profile immediately as you walk. 516 are the digits. These last three digits are what you want to pay attention to. As I said, if it is a infantry front, there will be a large drop. If it is a range front, it will be no drop or a very small drop. Maybe 4 might, maybe 5 might, something like along those lines. If it is a cav front, it will be a medium-sized drop. A large drop is somewhere from like 100, 100 plus. A medium drop is like maybe 50, and no drop is a direct counter. You do not want to do that. So now that we sent the march and we have this profile up, it will not update until you close it. Now that we update it, it is still 516. So I know that I sent a cav test march into this castle and it did no damage. That means, in my opinion, not opinion, this is a fact, but it is a range front. We will go to my castle now. We will check. It's in range phalanx. Direct counter. Now, in a scenario in which I was testing against another player and this wasn't a tutorial, that is all the information that I need to set a rally. Eventually, you will get there and you should do it that way as well. You tested the front. There was no drop. You sent cav. That means it's range. You want to set inf. If you know 110% that person is offline, right? Now, if you believe the person is online, you want to do a bamboozle. You're not sure. You want to 50-50 it. You think they might be online. Okay, I sent a cav test. They're in range front. You want to send range on range rally if you don't want to get countered. So if you believe the person is online and you tested and they're in range, instead of sending inf, you want to send range. Because if the person is online and baiting, they will switch to cav. And if they don't switch to cav, they will sit in range. And if you hit range on range, then you know the person is offline. But we will continue. So now that I tested and I know I got no jump, I know this castle is in a range formation. Now I'm going to switch my front to a cav formation, inf formation, and then I'm going to send another cav march to show you the difference. So sending another cav test and inf wedge. 516 is still the numbers at the end. And now we're going to look. The drop off is now 428. So that was a big might drop. Now you know it is an infantry front formation. So, like I said, speaking originally, if the person was in range and I didn't get a drop, what I would do is, if I think the person's offline, I'd set a direct counter. If I think they might be online, I'll send a range on range to make sure. So if range hits range, range does a lot of damage. If the person counters the cav preemptively, then you will get a direct counter on them by hitting range on cav. That's how I said it. Everyone has different ways of doing it. Some people don't believe in doing it that way. They only believe in setting counters. I believe it's always smarter to do the smart choice and the more effective, efficient choice. If you hit range on range, you know they're still offline. If you get a direct counter, you know you'll do a ton of damage, and that means that the person tried to counter you. They probably swapped gear, they swapped front, blah 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 blah. We know the rest. They got bamboozled, right? Now, the same thing goes with the range test march. I will show you the range test march just because it's a tutorial and I'm teaching you the right way to do it. If the person is in a infantry phalanx here, I will switch to inf. It works the same way as doing a cav test march. If you send range into inf, it will do no damage. If you send range into range, it would do medium damage. And if you send range into cav, it will be a big drop off. Now the range march must be sent in cav wedge. Like I said, I will make a PDF and I will show you guys how to set those preset battalions up if you want to lead. So here we go. We're going to send the range test in cav wedge. Again, we're going to walk. We're going to pull up the profile. 428 are the ending digits. We're going to check again. It is 410. That is not a big drop. I would assume that the person is in phalanx because the range did not do much damage. Like I said, if you hit range on range, it would do a significant drop. If you hit range on cav, it will be a big drop. So now I'm going to switch to cavalry front. And I'm going to send another test march just to show you guys the difference in damage. So we're going to set another range test march. 410 are the ending digits. Now it is 714. We had a big update here. That's a big drop. So you know that person is in cav front. Now, if you send it onto a range front, because range on range does a lot of damage, then you will be able to tell. Now I'm going to send the same test formation, which is range, onto a range front, and we will see the difference. 714 is the ending number. Down to 650. So you can see the difference between a major drop off on a counter, a mid-sized drop off, and a hard counter. So now that we know that this person is in range front, now all there is to do is to set your rally. So now you go. You'll set your 5-minute rally. We know that this person is in range front. You want to set your infantry preset. Like I said before, you don't want T4 siege. You want T3. It is faster. Here's your movement speed. If you put T4 siege, it will increase it. T4 siege does not have that much extra HP over T3 siege. It costs more to repair. It's bad, and it gives you additional might. You don't want that. So now this is the range preset that we have. 4 of each buffer for max damage. You don't need more than this in player versus player rallies. This is optimal for damage. This is the optimal familiars for a rally. These are the optimal heroes. So another thing is in your presets here, right? Your hero also has a type. This is an inf hero. 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 This is wrong. So you only want 4 of each type of hero, right? The best heroes are the ones with army HP and army attack, which means this one needs to go. This one only gives army attack. This one gives infantry HP boost and infantry attack. You want this one on your wall or in your march. This is also an army hero, but it is marked infantry. So this will apply to army HP for all the buffers and siege as well. The reason why we are doing this is because only 4 of those types of troops work in the Lord's mobile targeting system. So if you have a army HP hero, you want to throw that in there so it targets the other formation or battalion, and it doesn't just sit there lost in the battle, because it won't target anything and it won't help anything. So whatever your hero is, you want to make sure that that specific lineup or formation is taken care of correctly. As you can see, there's 4 range heroes, 2 here, 2 here, and 1 infantry hero, which is the leader, for that same reason. Same thing with cav, 2 cav, 2 cav, 1 inf. You must make sure that whatever hero you use, that battalion setup has 1 different hero. Make sure that it has army HP, army attack, army defense, and you'll be okay. If not, you can use Rose Knight in place if you have a pay-to-play hero, which is if you don't have Watcher or Chaos Dragon or something. But these are the presets. This is what you will send. And I have them preset here in Hippie's Castle for the type of blast on the left, the formation on the right. So when you send an inf rally, you want to send it in infantry phalanx. When you send a range rally, you want to send it in infantry phalanx. When you send a cav rally, you want to send it in infantry wedge. Now I'm going to break down why and explain to you how it works in the Lord's mobile targeting system. So when you're sending a inf rally at the start of the battle, the infantry, let's put it range here. The infantry will be at the front of the battle, right? And it is now targeting the range in the front. The cav is targeting the second line. The range is targeting the back line range. That is how that works. So when you have the 4 heroes there, right, that I was talking about in the battalion or in the setup, each hero has a designated troop type that they apply their bonus to until the buffers die. So your 4 heroes will be working on your infantry, and the additional 5th hero will go to your range and siege that are left alive, kept to keep formation. Now, when you send that infantry, the inf will hit first, causing it to do more damage. The reason why you send the range and infantry phalanx is because the range is now in the back line, being kept alive by the buffers in the front, because the inf hits first, which allows the range to stay alive longer. So we will test again. The inf will end up in the back. The range will end up in the back. The inf will hit first, and the cav will hit the second line. So we will do it against the infantry phalanx now to show you the same thing. As you can see, the range went to the back. I don't know why I keep saying inf. The inf is in the front, and that's how it will work. So now the two infs hit each other, the two calves are stuck on the front line, and the range are hitting the others, keeping the range alive and extending the morale of the battle, right? Now, when sending a cav march, this is where things get tricky, because the cav troop type is the fastest in the game, right? If you go here, you go to attack, you send cav, it is 5 seconds. You send range, it is 5 seconds. Range and cav are similar speeds. Things can make a difference, like adding a siege, which will make the march go longer. So as you can see, it goes to 8 seconds, right? And then when you add a cav, it goes to 8 seconds. So the range and cav have the same march speed, but the cav is considered the fastest troop type in the game. So this is 2 seconds. This would be 2 seconds, right? When you put inf there, it becomes 3 seconds. Inf is slower than range and cav. So when you send a cav formation, the cav will always go to the front first because it is faster than the infantry troop type. The range will always stay in the back of the fight. So now we're going to see this in real time in the drill. So if you send infantry wedge, the cav is now in the back, but because the cav is faster than the infantry, you will see the cav move to the front and the range move to the back. So we'll put this one in front and we'll watch the battle. So as you can see, the inf is walking, the inf has now hit, and now the cav is targeting the infantry straight up, causing more damage, and the range will stay in the back as usual, right? That's the breakdown for that. And after the targeting system goes through and it works, and when you counter someone, it'll clear this out really fast, and then the cav will go on to target the range, and the range will go on to target the range, and that's how you get maximum damage. So these battalions will be in the PDF as well. And that's really all there is to it. When you set a rally, you want to make sure when your rally expires, let's set a film. You want to make sure you want to make sure that when your rally is counting down, that you're in speed gear. And switching gear is a important part of rallying. You don't want to rally and not switch gear. You lose damage, whatever else the case may be. So as we all know, this is going to be a 5-minute rally. In the meantime, you want to make sure that everyone is joining and filling properly. Things are going the right way. So now if someone fails, you don't want them to send 101k. You know, you don't want them to send 100,000 plus one. You want them to send 100,000 flat. You want to be paying attention to the chat. Hey, should I send this back? Send me back. You got to constantly check this. Make sure that if this is an inf rally, no one is sending range and cav by an accident. You want to check your anti-scout. Do you want to add an attack boost on? If you're going to put an attack boost on, people are going to scout you. You want to put a false info on just to make sure that you're protecting your castle. Some players are fast enough or quick enough and smart enough to know if you have a 2 times on, because it will be only even numbers. When someone has a 2 times on, there will be only even numbers in their report. So for instance, if I took my anti-scout off and I put a 2 times on here, right? I put a 50% attack defense boost to take down my anti-scout, right? And I'm on Hippie's Castle here. I will scout. Looking at the report now, as you can see, every number at the end of this scout is even. 2, 4, 6, 8 zeros, right? So you would know that this is not 52 mil. It is half of that, which is, like 20 something mil, whatever you want to, easiest way to break it down for you while looking at it. Easiest way to test that someone has an ante on is to send, again, send a test march. You don't have to send this much. You can send 1 troop. You can send 1 troop. Then you scout again. You go and look into their wounded, and you can tell by the difference in the troop count. If it's not an even number, the person is faking it. They don't have a real scout on. Very important to know. Also, a telltale sign if someone is online faking, boosting their troop comp, making it to look like something it isn't. Another thing that's very important before all of that is checking your talent. You must have your talent set. This is important. It's just as important as having your gear on, if not more important. So this is an infantry and cav maxed blast setup. This is a range and cav max blast setup. I will have photos of these in the PDF. I'm trying to keep this video under 30 minutes, but if you want to learn the proper way, this is how you do it. This is a cav and inf max blast setup where you only getting those 2 true types. When setting a rally, like I said, if this is going to be an inf rally, I'm going to set it in inf phalanx. I'm going to make sure that I'm in inf phalanx. If I believe the target is online, or if it's a very big target, you want to have your bunny ready. You only pop your bunny 10 seconds or 5 seconds before your march. You don't want to waste a bunny. Now that I know I'm in talents, there's 10 seconds left to the rally. You start doing a mental countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Swap gear. Now you check, see what gear they're in, see if the person countered, see if the person changed gear, if they burned, anything of that sort when that rally walks. That walked very fast because it was only a tier 2 troop, but your march when you set an actual rally will be about 5 to 8 seconds. So cav is 5, range is 6, inf is 8, because the siege will slow down the march. So you have that 5 to 8 seconds from when you put your speed gear on or when you swapped target to pull up the profile and go back and cancel the rally. So now I'll go back. I will set a real rally. Oops. Set the attack. I will set a real rally now, and I will show you how much time you have to cancel. So now you have 7 seconds on the walk in speed gear, right? If you want to walk in gear and tell your guild or teammates to carpet, you can always check in gear. So it's an 8-second walk in gear. If you switch out of gear, and you go back to set another rally, it's a 7-second walk. That's a 1 second difference. So if you think the person's online or it's a big target, whatever the case may be, or if you're bamboozling them, tricking them, then you want to be as fast as possible. So now, if you think they're online and you want to counter or anything like that, you will ask for carps. You'll go in the chat, you say carp hard. This is a test, so no one does anything. And then you will know if, you know what I mean? You have to be prepared to switch gear. So if I know I'm going to ask for carps, I'm going to switch. I'm going to be ready. From 10 seconds, I'll be on my gear. I'll swap. I'll know that people are going to make my rally fly. So that's just that. You switch gear. Nothing else to it. Other things that you want to be aware of. If someone types X in the chat, that means the person swapped gear. If you're using the bot, pay attention to the bot. If it pings, tell them that, if they send helps or anything like that. You can test front as well before you walk, just to see if someone swapped. So for instance, we're at 3 minutes countdown now. If this was going down to a 0 timer at 50, or let's say going down to 40, right? You can now go and send a quick test march to see if they swap front. If you've seen the drop, then you know the person is offline, because you know that wasn't their front previously. I'm trying to keep this video as short as possible, but I'm really doing an in-depth explanation just in case people want to watch this in parts and anything like that. So for instance, I'm gonna ask these guys to send me a fill to further help explain. They'll send a fill. This marker or cursor here to count down is very important, because this will help you cancel a rally. If you want to cancel a rally, this is the fastest way to do it. There is no other fast way to do it. This is just it. So, like I said, you want to make sure people are sending the right things. If this is a real rally, if you're not filling, then you want that person to send, 100K or whatever the case may be, right? So this is how you send people back, by hitting this button. You always want to pay attention, making sure people are sending the right troop types to your rallies, or you would do less damage. Someone would type send me back, you send this guy back, right? And that's how it will work. It'll close the screen. Then you'll send the next person back, and that's how it works. You have to constantly pay attention to this. Like I said before, make sure you are in talent. It is very important. Every time someone sends, you want to check, make sure they're sending the right thing, and constantly just go through the list, scroll through the list. There's more players. The more players that join, the more players you have to check and make sure. You don't want uneven numbers in your rally, because it will cause problems and headaches for other people that are filling. You don't want that. So once again, this is a real rally. There's 30 seconds left. I'm going to check my formation. I'm sending inf. I want to send it in the proper formation. And then I want to make sure that I'm ready to switch to my gear. I'm in talent. I'm in formation. There's nothing else to do but wait. Make sure I'm sending the right things. Right? Now you do your mental countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You swap, and then you can cancel if that person switches gear if you check. Ouch. That hurt. I didn't mean to kill their troops, but yeah, that's basically how it works. You don't swap, you get capped. Prime example. I owe these guys some troops and some heals. I'll give it back to them. That was an accident. But that's basically all there is to it. Ouch. Hippie, I'm sorry. Because you are gonna watch this because I also made this partly for you. But like I said, that's how everything works. So I will make a PDF showing all the setups and battalions and everything like that. I will also put everything else there. Even though that was a small hit, it still did a decent amount of damage on my, on my front line. I still lost some troops. You'll get them back in Divine Providence, and yeah, that's all there is to it. This video is just about 35 minutes. I'm going to release Hippie back. And that's just the video. Any other questions? I'll try to make everything in PDF, make it smooth, make it clear. And just, if you have any questions, ask me personally. I'll help you out. Maybe we can try and, switch targets or give you guys practice. And that's really all there is to it. I hope it was easy and a good explanation for you guys. I appreciate you guys for always supporting, and I appreciate you guys for always wanting to learn and do better for yourselves, and I will always be there to help. Peace.